Thank you very much, Mr. Njai. I commend the entire DOIS team for this initiative. The ministers are here today, permanent secretaries. Our partners are here today, Asata Motors, Q Group or QCell, but also Bell Bottling as well. Thank you for your support on the leadership of the PS Kodu Jabang. So now we will not waste much time. We will allow the minister to introduce your team. Today you are not speaking, you are answering questions. Introduce your team, and then we'll go straight to the video or the documentary. Then we'll go straight to Q&A. Thank you.
Thank you. To the Minister of Information, Dr. Ismail Assise, and to good evening to all the honorable ministers that are here, the Chief of Staff, Deputy Chief of Staff, and the permanent secretaries, from, of course, our permanent secretary, Mr. Bully Diba, and the Director of Press, and our members of the diplomatic corps. We have the UNRC, the UNDP resident coordinator, the ambassador, France ambassador to the Gambia, and to all of you that are from the Ministry of Youth and Sports and from other partners and stakeholders. Welcome to this event of the Ministry of Youth and Sports. On the side of the Ministry of Youth and Sports, we have our permanent secretary here, Mr. Bully Diba, and then, of course, the Deputy Permanent Secretary, Finance and Admin, Mr. Lamin Kamara at the extreme left over there. And we have the General Manager of the Independent Stadium and Friendship Hostel, Mr. Ibu Fai. And right behind here is the Acting Director of the National Sports Council, Mr. Mohamed Lamin Jawla. And on my right is Mr. Mbai Sen. He is the coordinator of our Gambia Songhai initiative, otherwise called GSI, which is the Agricultural Training Center that is managed by the ministry. And after him is the director at the Department of Youth and Sports, Mr. Abbas Ba. So that's the team. Of course, we have others who are seated right there in the audience, staffs from the ministry, from the department, and some other staffs from some of our satellite institutions. We have 7 satellite institutions under the ministry doing different kind of works. But we want to welcome each one of you to this Mansa Kunda. And as a Ministry of Youth and Sport, we are extremely happy that we are the ones launching the 2nd edition or episode 2 of the Mansa Kunda. And we will be excited to hear from you, from the questions you have, the issues you have, and myself and the team will be able to provide answers as much as we can. That's why we have everyone here. So welcome, and the next 1.5 hours will be an interesting one in our sector. Thank you. I made it short because Doctor asked me to make it short. He doesn't want us to say anything apart from introduction, even though he took 30 minutes of our time. But this is his show, and we want to congratulate him for all the good work he's doing in that ministry.
Thank you very much. Thank you. So we've reached the peak, what I would call the peak of the event. That is the unveiling of, or the premiere of the Irua Mansa Kunda series. Thank you, Director of Press, Ami Bojang Siso, for your hard work in making this possible, and your entire team. Haruna, I officially announced the unveiling of the premiere of the Mansa Kunda Irua documentary series. If you can start with Youth and Sports, please, we'll appreciate it. Thank you.
But in spirit, across its cities, villages, farms, offices, and playing fields, the energy of youth is shaping a new national story. Under the leadership of the Barrow administration, the Gambia has embarked on a path of socio-economic transformation, one driven by inclusion, opportunity, and national pride. At the center of this vision stands the Ministry of Youth and Sports, an institution committed to unlocking the potential of the country.
Then we created the minibus for transportation service. Then from there, we created tractor for farmers. The grant was helpful. We were able to buy some of the things that like the electronic parts because they are not available in the Gambia here. So we were able to buy some of those parts. So the metallic parts here, they are available in the Gambia. So we used that one and built their bike continue like that. We built 7 electric bicycles and we sold them all. And I say great thanks to the NYC on the Ministry of Transport. They did for giving the grant, and they didn't only stop at giving the grant, they exposed me to the world, whereby I have to go, from their support, I have to go up to China to see outside also what those people are also doing.
For a nation to strive, its graduates must be prepared not only academically, but professionally. The National Youth Service Graduate Program is a flagship intervention designed to bridge the gap between education and employment. By placing graduates in real-world professional environments, the program builds confidence, competence, and a culture of excellence. It is a strategic investment in human capital, preparing young Gambians to lead in government, industry, and innovation. Alongside this, the President's International Award Skills Center in Bakau continues to nurture vocational talent. Through mentorship, hands-on training, and technical support.
Through the NYSS, the Ministry of Youth and Sport, we are able to support of those young people to learn the basic skills. This, if you look at in connection to Yilwa, have a big impact. The impact is very high. Because one, we are talking about the skill gap and also the employment gap. And this is what we are trying to fill, looking at the number of people that we are able to bring. When we start with 100 young people, we have almost 85. Now, down the line to the second cohort, as we speak, we are almost about 5 to 6 months. We already have 10 people who already get employment. But currently, the government is supporting 450 young people to learn the basic skills. Among them, we also have the university graduates. University graduates are 100, and other, as I said, ATP, we have 150, and the other one is 200. Now join them, put them all together, you have 450 people that government is supporting.
Perintah NYSS, na kararola karanje, perintah kararola karanje, yang karande kontrola, yang karande sumandirola, yang karande how to bakararo kumasalanya, anu ba masih start la nyame pa. Nena wa mera ko may opportunity fa so tala ko even karante la kararola. Kanto manu sirin na mantara kenke kan so nata ni opportunity so. Kay bela no tan graduation la. Gal nata ma koy kanan nata na mari creation ya ja. Green la mari creation. Ka den ko karale, ka fano karale, ka kurto karale, ka simiso karale, ka uniform karale, ka musu den ko karale. Before na family je nyame ani se alhamdulillah kanto quite different. Sangani banko bedna dat ya je say nga ñu commencé ani na mom ana sister soul girl be contenta pero fala mo min ko do min sota kanje bena family help angela même fan na kanje alhamdulillah.
We discovered that if you go to other schools and other tertiary institutions, it's mostly tailored for young people that have been to school. Then we decided to open the school and have a zero entry requirement for it. The only requirement, you must be a Gambian. We don't look at how much qualification you have, whether you have learned French or Arab or English. Once you are done, you want to learn skills and you come with enrollment. So currently we are running all skills: carpentry, auto mechanic, welding, bread making, food making, tailoring and fashion design, hairdressing. All these skills we are running at a certificate level, and all these courses are accredited by NACA. From 2016 to date, the number of participants that enroll in the program and graduate, we are getting close to 16,000. And at the skill center, from 2016 to date, we have registered 1,250 people who have graduated from the skill center. And at the skill center, all the students who have graduated from the present international skill center, half of their school fees are covered by the government.
I'm John Gomez. PL Jange. So I'm school St. Clair's from grade 7 one night. After my daily grade 9, I no talk. So I was again. So I was grade 11. When I get when I smell it, it's more than grade 11 nakara. And I'm gonna come. I'm only my fair come more than grade 11. But I'm talk with the mother. When I'm study carpentry, because time is school, I couldn't jang, I couldn't get full of interest that you need. So when I get away, not man PIA direct. After that, mom, kapan anjering. I'm not come. Mo fa neka past years. Talk mo for madam ko as waste. I'm not jangan naman buri. Wala this is that. Numa to sa bonus may fair may matin. Because may am ligay. So may kwati ligay bina. So the may am contract ni may ligay. Ni fonga ligay. Because PIA luma de fa luma ko fake. Because PIA ham na fo. So madam mo. Ina jangan 100%. Lo bugay no ko am. PIA seru. Yama na bede di ganna japale. So to bade me nga gina mun nga first jom rek. Ni first jom. So first jom nga dem. Once you love never John feel na nga love as fulan la. Nga japale sa family.
Together, these initiatives form a strong foundation for a competitive, future-ready workforce. Sport has the power to unite a nation. To sustain this momentum, the government is investing over $283 million in the modernization of the Independence Stadium. This transformation will elevate national infrastructure to meet international standards, creating spaces worthy of Gambian excellence.
You cannot have a good national team, whether it's football or basketball, volleyball, if you don't have good infrastructure. So the two are intertwined, and we're looking at it from that angle, that we must be able to invest in the infrastructure, invest in the human capacity development, but also invest in the participation of our national team in a way to be able to empower young people.
Beyond the capital, community-level investments from the Mboyo football field in Bakote to the Farafenye Youth Center are strengthening grassroots development. Here, talent is discovered early, nurtured locally, and celebrated nationally.
People understand that government's investment in sports has a huge impact on strengthening sports development in the country. And the investment is not only in one area. Investment in infrastructure, investment in the athletes, investment in the associations that have the clubs that produce the athletes. Now, on the side of infrastructure, government have invested a lot in providing football fields and also multi-purpose courts. The likes of the Mboyo field, for example, which is a very key investment of government in terms of strengthening sports in the country.
This is the place where we used to play, formerly known as Mboyo Field, which the name itself would tell you that it was not the best pitch. Because Mboyo, when locally you use the word Mboyo Field, you realize that it's not a professional ground anyway.
Team yu bari yu nga xamne ñu ngi play Serekunda West ak nakala Manjay yu bari ci gox bi lañ joggé. You understand? So tay team yoy non yep so gisé ñu gëna ci biti mo nekk fi nu melone. It was not registered as a zone ba paré time bobu nonu fi nu mel do fi mëna play nawetan.
It was a waterway, and secondly people will be playing on the ground, and some other things also will be interrupting us. Like you'll be seeing people passing by, donkeys also passing. So for us to even have a good match, it is a problem for us.
For us to play Nevetan during the rainy season is really a difficult time. So normally what we do is we wait until the rainy season ends, so then we start playing our Nevetan, and the field was very terrible.
It's a big surprise to us, to see a development like this to come to our area.
It is a nice structure because it incorporated different sporting activities, not only football, but then you have basketball, volleyball, tennis. Those are all sporting disciplines that people can do here. And the achievement that we expect here is to have more professionals from not only Bakote or London, but from the Gambia. It's not a structure that would be benefited by one community, but in actual sense, many communities, as it is centered at the right borders between Bakote, Bundung, and London Corner. Currently, it has served as a nurturing hub for sports, not only for Bakote, but for the Gambia.
Liggéey bu ñu defal fii nii kontaan nañ torop liggéey bi rafet na torop because lii rek lañ doon ñaan si at yooyu yëpp depuis bu ñoo nekk xale lii rek lañ doon ñaan.
We are just amazed with the massive development that happens here within this short time. We are thanking the president, the ministers, and the right stakeholders for bringing such a massive structure within our communities.
True development is sustained by strong institutions and forward-thinking policies. Guided by a youth-first philosophy, the Ministry of Youth and Sports is advancing legislative reforms that will define the sector for generations to come. The proposed Youth and Sports Bill represents a renewed commitment, strengthening governance, improving coordination, and ensuring sustainable funding for youth development.
The bill is meant to give the young people a better platform in terms of the regulations, because we know that we have never had anything like a youth bill. What we had was the Youth Council Act that establishes, but the bill expands on what was existing before to ensure that we have a law that is
advancing potential of Gambian youth.
When you talk about youth first, basically what we are talking about is opportunity. We want in this ministry that every young person will be given the opportunity to grow and develop. Young people are the backbone of the society. They are the cream of our society. They want to be recognized. They want to make sure their voices are heard, and they want to make sure that they are part of the development trajectory of this country. So the policy of the government is very, very timely. Since we are a young country, we are a very peaceful country. We want to sustain that. We want to maintain the peaceful nature of the country. In order to do that, we have to prioritize the young people of this country. And I'm glad that the government is doing that. It's looking into that direction.
We're looking forward to a more empowered youthful population with technical skills, and of course a shift from the conventional education that everybody seems to focus on to look at the skill set. And government, under the leadership of President Barrow, is looking at that angle, because we are now not looking at just the GTTIs or the USAID and others, but we're building institutions like excellence centers in Tujareng for fisheries sector. And there are already young people that are being trained outside the country to be lecturers in those institutions. We want a more empowered population, but a young, fruitful population that is ready to take up the informal sector.
The Ministry of Youth and Sports, advancing potential of Gambian youth. Together, we are building a brighter, stronger, and more prosperous tomorrow.
Is over, so it's not my show, it's your show. You'll stand here. You'll answer 3 questions at a time. You'll take first three questions. You or any one of your team that what you want to answer can answer that question. Then we'll go to the next 3 until I say stop, and we can stop. Thank you.
Thank you. All right, okay, ladies and gentlemen, we would now open the floor. But before that, we have had a few arrivals who have come to join us. The ambassador of Turkey to the Gambia, of course, the deputy head of mission from the People's Republic of China also came in. The Secretary General and head of the civil service, Salim Jai, also joined us while the video was on, and we want to welcome all of them. Of course, our director at the National Youth Council was also here. So, like the Honourable Minister of Information did say, the floor is open. We would take, I guess, 3 questions at a time and try to respond as much as we can. I can respond. If then also we can have the Permanent Secretary or any of the directors respond if there is any issue that probably I'm not very familiar with. They are all here to help. Ladies and gentlemen, it's over to you now. So there's a roving mic, so you can just raise your hand, and then the one handling the mic will come to you.
Right. My name is Fari Mansa, the president of the Nursing Students Association at the University of the Gambia. Huh? Right, that is fine. That is fine. So the first one is not a question, actually. I think it is just a suggestion, because I can see many of us that are here will be able to speak English. But then those that are out there, some of them might not be able to speak English. So the documentary that is just played might not be very well, understood by those that are out there and they've never been to school before. So that is one of my recommendations. I think preferably that the languages down there or in the documentary be mixed up. Right. So my question to the Honourable Minister is, because this is a youth ministry, right? Don't you think all of you, or you and your team that are representing the ministry there, are not above the youthful age? Because I think the right people to represent the ministry are those that are at that youthful age. That is one of my questions. Yes. And then the second one is, I have only 2 questions, only 2. Okay. The second one is, do you think when it comes to the sector of sports, do you think you can say, okay, I have achieved anything successful if the Gambia did not have anything or did not have any stadium that is recommended by FIFA or African football as a standard football field? Thank you.
Okay, hello. We can move to the next
hello,
one.
Assalamu alaikum. My name is Bakary Hilltop Radio. I will ask a question in Mandinka. Honourable Minister, na ñinin karuba kala munti walam ñin kartam bilala. Kibaro fintira GFF minketa Gambia kadam fu bulon bundati federation. Iko Gambia ndeka play ning Iran, majumi ndeka play Antalya in Turkey. Mol content kabina kibaro fananje ko man majdo kala ni Sierra Leone, anda kala ni Samalla, anda kala stadium mol content for the first time sajina ni kono wala sanjulu kan ngana majdo play in fan la stadium moto. Bari wakola nada kibaro je mubota Ministry of Youth and Sport. Iko je koronta pour kibaro mbandi bay mam pare me kala stadium moti. Yebe fidera ko denke ko no bari ministry la fo mole ko stadium ni parta sama jo ke no jele. Na ka jasoto ni National Sport Council. Mi alon ko le bani ministry tema mu ya ko ndima ko kala dan fo sa ke no je mbakala sama ajen insere. So way mun tandi mo lo mun foka wala mu. Mo yidi balya Ministry of Youth and Sport tema ani Gambia Football Federation. Kibaro la dio ka pour banko mo la kalamata ba ku mata ba ke banko do la pour ka majo play jang na kibaro finda ka mo kontani ni ko do findira mi lon ko ani fofo da nyoko akara banko do le nuki abari fo mo sa confirm no wala minister ko kibaro la bo ka Ministry of Youth and Sport ani National Youth Sport Council tema kada je kibaro aldama tema mantra di kan ka ndaka di nyaming wala fo mo banko mo ni daga fendelo mi lon ko abaldama tema. And second question wala from Sajeno September Gambia ndega play qualifier no prukata AFCON in East Africa. For Gambia sala home majo play no mfan la baye bato come September. Thank you.
Thank you.
Good evening, everyone. I am Ansumano Koli, a student from the University of the Gambia. First and foremost, I would like to thank the Honourable Minister, Dr. Ismaila Ceesay, for organizing this very important Mansa Kunda 2.0. Dr. Ismaila Ceesay is a lecturer who taught me, and I want to give you, the benefit of the doubt, to say thank you for inspiring knowledge. Indeed, your knowledge that you inspired in me have definitely given me the reason why I'm here to stand and talk in front of the public. Thank you very much for that, I'm so grateful. So, Honourable Minister, my question is very short. in 2023, you organized or you launched the National Youth Service Graduate Program, and which was very successful. And for the first time in the history of the Gambia, we have such a program, and it was able to, have bring 88 students that have the capacity to be in that program. And currently in the Mansa Kunda magazine, 150 students are definitely participating in that program. So my question is, with the recent or unprecedented number of UTG graduates, over 1,600 UTG graduates have, graduated in this year's, academic program. And now, which means the number of, or the demand for students to be part of this National Youth Service Scheme program will be higher. What is your ministry doing to ensure that these 1,600, over 1,600 UTG students will be able to benefit in this graduate program? What is your ministry doing to ensure that this, you will cater this huge number of UTG graduates? Thank you.
Okay, I think the rule is we take 3 and then answer, and we will come back to you. Hopefully we'll have time to take all the questions. Just to go straight to the point, the first from Mr. Sanyang about the staffs being not youth and above the age. Yeah, sometimes we hear these kind of things, right? But being a youth and being employed to work in the institutions of the ministry is a 2 completely different things. The youth have institutions in which they are expected to be members, either by way of election or by way of appointments, and that is happening. So today, if you go to the National Youth Council, the head of the secretariat, who is sitting right here, is above the youth age. But every other member of the council is a youth. The chairpersons of the regions who are elected by the young people are young people. They have a rule that you cannot be a member of the council if you are up to 35 or above 35, which is the definition for youth. The same thing applies. The chairperson that is appointed is equally a young person. And these are the ones that make the resolutions, make the decisions that make the council work. However, staffing matter have set requirements as per the civil service code or the public service sectors that you must have certain a degree or a master's to be able to be there. And sometimes, yes, you might have someone who is 30 who has graduated but is still below the youth age, but they must be employed. And the employment is advertised and people apply. And we can take, if you are 30 and you have the requirements, you apply, we will take you, certainly. But it doesn't mean that you will have to terminate someone who is working there and then becomes 35, or you say, okay, you are now above the youth age, bye-bye, we go look for someone else who is below the youth age. So it doesn't work like that. So staffing matters are a little bit different, and the staffs are seen more like public servants, and as long as they are not up to 60, they are allowed to work within the sector. And their role is to provide policy, is to provide leadership and direction that makes the sector work. But when it comes to resolutions and decisions, we engage young people as much as possible. As you've seen in the person, when they advertise, you can apply. And some of them, the directors have been there for a while, but most of the staff below them are definitely young people. The issue of the stadium versus achievements. You asked the question, do we think we have achieved in the word, in code, anything as a ministry? I think the video is evident that the Ministry of Youth and Sports has achieved a lot more beyond the stadium issue. And you've seen the NYSS, somebody just talked about it, a program that empowers young people, and it cuts across all categories. If you get grade 9 and you drop out of school, there is a program that the government is putting for young people to help them to be able to earn skills and then be able to earn a living. And the testimonies were said in the video. If you finish grade 12, there's a special program which is a regular batch which you can enroll into. If you finish grade 12 university, we have the National Youth Service Graduate Program that Mr. Kohli just mentioned, which is targeting university graduates who maybe have not gotten work. They get into the program, they're placed in 1-year internship or job placement, and then through that they get employed. These are all achievements outside the sports. But even in the sport itself, today, with this government, the government is paying a national team coach. These are not things that happened before. We know, those who are in the sport know what I'm talking about. Today, the government has employed through the National Sport Council 2 coaches for athletics, paid for by the ministry. These are all new things. We have a national team coach who is coaching volleyball and is employed to build skills. And we look at the infrastructure development that is happening. All of these are developments that are happening under the ministry. However, we understand and we acknowledge the challenges that we face in terms of the stadium, and we've communicated that. The unfortunate part is, stadium is a 40-year infrastructure, now maybe 42 years since it was opened in 1983. Never had any cost to be able to renovate it to the standard. Is a little bit higher than we anticipated, but as we got onto the job, then we realized that what we task ourselves to do and what CAF requires is completely different, and we have to ensure that we do the right thing. So that is the only thing. But I don't believe, and I'm sure these are the conversations online, people just want to streamline the entire ministry to a stadium. It is very important, but the Ministry of Youth and Sports goes beyond football. We are into basketball, we are into volleyball, we are into wrestling, we are into athletics, and others. And we have a center where there's an IT training, there is a hall for programs, there is a hostel for accommodation, as well as a volleyball, basketball lawn built inside there in Farafenye, giving young people of that area an opportunity to have sport infrastructure. You go to Pakalinding, we have a similar structure. You go to Janjambre, we have a similar structure. In Bansang, there is one. In Basse, there is a new youth center that has all these facilities. And all of these are for young people. So when people think stadium is the only thing, no. And we are doing our best, and that will just make me answer this question about will we play here in September? Yes, we are sure that we'll play here in September. In fact, the reason that gave GFF the hope to make that announcement is because they themselves are convinced that the stadium is ready. What we are doing is because stadium is not just about football. Stadium in the main bowl has football and it has athletics, long jump and high jump. So in our renovation, we task ourselves to renovate the football area, all the facilities needed for football, and that is now complete. What is left is the athletics, because His Excellency the President, based on his understanding of sports, has decided that instead of just limiting ourselves to football, let's also look at other areas. And when we approached him for the tracks, he was able to give approval. We didn't have the money, but he took it upon himself to ask Minister of Finance to provide additional funding for us to be able to do the tracks, so that when the stadium is complete, we will be having a complete infrastructure that caters for football, caters for athletics, and all the other track and field games. So that is what we're doing now. If you go there today, maybe you'll not be allowed to go in, but they have already removed all the old tracks that are broken and replacing them with new tracks. And what they're doing now is putting up the borehole, the drainage system before the asphalt and eventually the tracks. And we are hopeful that very soon we will be able to get the stadium ready. And yes, September, March will be played here. That is our hope, because the only thing that CAF said was the problem the last time is the pitch. The pitch is renovated. The consultant that was sent here by CAF is satisfied with what is going, what has happened, and he has even shared the pictures himself, and some of you see it. I see some people saying it's AI pictures. They are not AI pictures, they are real pictures. All right? But it shows you how beautiful they are. That's why they call them AI. All right, so the issue with the announcement that came earlier and the counter message that came from the ministry. Responding Mandinka. Okay, so Mr. Colley, no, that was from Jase. So Minketa is unfortunate, right? Let me because Ntol as a government and as a ministry, moya lone nunto. Minga kenung diamu jamale kake between the ministry and the JFF, and not just JFF, even the GNOC. But Mansa Kunda approach minta, wolem ko stakeholders nyanta sila le kacha. Annal man benkanto, but I'll be kachalale, maybe mimbe finte la banta. I came into fent me along kabe molbele na fala. Not to go into So we are happy our UNDP resident representative is here, because they are partners in the National Youth Service Graduate Program. And I'm sure they would hear the demand that we want it increased. You know, it's co-funded by the government and by the UNDP. And our interest really is to be able to increase numbers annually. But it's a little bit expensive because not just the orientation, you keep them in camp with an orientation that you saw in the video, and they're trained on a lot of issues, patriotism, life skills, and a lot of other issues. But then they get to their institutional place of the institution where we place them for 12 months. And each of those 100 young people are paid a monthly stipend. And if you calculate 5,000 times 100 by 12 months, that's some reasonable amount of money that government is putting in. So if you want to increase the numbers to 200, it will be appreciated, but we will look for funding to be able to do it. And really, with the interest and the impact it has made, we've seen a lot of interest coming, so hopefully we'll be able to add. But like the director explained, that is just one of the programs. The graduate program is 100. Then you have the apprenticeship training program, which is 150. Then you have the regular program, which is 200. That is why at a particular time, you have 450 young people that are in different institutions, either on training or on job placement, and each one of them is giving a monthly stipend. So if you calculate those things, and you don't see them, they are not buildings that you will celebrate like we celebrate the roads and the electricity. But those are impacts that we do in the young people's life in terms of building their skills and giving them opportunities that are not visible, but they're very important, okay? So I think this is the answers, if I get it right, yeah? Yeah. So we will move on to the next set.
I haven't given one second. Hello, my name is Alpha Asmare. My question involves a bit of various ministries combined. A digital strategist with more than 2 decades on it. What I want to ask is, with the growing number of digital experts, content creators, what is the Ministry of Youth doing regarding opportunities that would allow these various platforms to monetize and where they can make money out of it? That includes YouTube, TikTok, and various platforms. Now, the second one is, with the growing number of AI and other digital transformation, how is the ministry planning to equip other young people to adapt to digital trends and innovative trends? Also, policies that would also protect deepfake AI images, and also other policies that would protect young people and children. Thank you very much.
Okay, like I said, my name is Aret Jata from the Standard newspaper. My first question is, it was announced in March that the Gambia will host the African Union sports competition in June. We are now in the month of June. Will the Gambia proceed to host the competition? And my second question is, the GF said the Gambia government did not provide any financial support team during the last friendly match against Iran in Turkey. Is this true? And if so, why? Because the national team activities are normally funded by the... Thank you. The whole question? Yeah, I said because the national team activities are normally funded by the government.
Yes, good evening. Thank you for having us here for the 2.0 Mansa Kunda. Minister, my question will be quote from the vision of the ministry. Based on this Mansa Kunda that was here right now, it says, part of the vision of the ministry is to deliver excellence in youth and sports development, to promote mass participation. This is the vision of the Ministry of Youth and Sport. And this has led me to ask, if the ministry want to promote mass participation in terms of youth and sport development, and for over the years in this country, we have seen that people have this belief that, or people believe that sport is not inclusive. Much especially if you look at the gap between the rural sport and the urban sport. People have even claimed that in our national team, if you come from the rural side of the country, to play in the national team, it is very difficult. So looking at the vision of the ministry, we want to know what plans did the ministry have to make sure sport and other related youth developments reach to the remotest village in this country. Thank you. That's my question. And my name is Sahti Jangay, a student of the University of the Gambia, majoring in political science. Thank you.
Mr. Gay, I think it would just be good to start from you because you just asked a question now. In the vision and the policies of the ministry, mass sports is clearly mentioned, and there's a reason why, because mass sports is actually where everybody has opportunity to participate in sports. What we see sometimes at the regional and the national level is a pyramid of sports. So at the base, you have the mass participation where everybody is, whether you're going to evolve into a big sport person or you're going to take sports as a career or not, you're there. Then you have the middle part and the elite part, which is the national team. So a lot of times the focus is on the elite. So when we talk about mass sports, we're talking about extending sports opportunities in terms of infrastructure, in terms of facilities, in terms of trainers, to everywhere else where we are able to reach. And yes, we are doing that. Unfortunately, it did not come out in the documentary. Well, maybe it did actually, with the Mboyo Field, which is one of the projects that has been done and actually going to be opened this month by His Excellency the President, is one of those. And I always say that the policy that the ministry has is communicating the vision of the ministry and by extension the government. But it did not say that it is the ministry alone or the government, central government alone that should do that. As the policy holder, we develop policies in consultation with our stakeholders with the belief that that is what is everybody, every institution in the sector going to use to be able to develop sports moving forward. So when you see, for instance, Gambia Athletics Association, Gambia Football Association, or Gambia Football Federation, Gambia Volleyball, doing sports in Mansa Konko, or doing sports in Genoy, or doing sports somewhere else in Basso Fatoto, that is the mission of the ministry. So the ministry is saying this is what we want, and everyone else follows that. But yes, in the process, we support by ensuring that we build infrastructure where we are able to build infrastructure. We provide the financial support to communities to develop their infrastructure. But we are also encouraging according to the Local Government Act, they have the mandate to do that, not the ministry. And I know a lot of times people ask the ministry, why didn't you build this? Why didn't you do a football field in Busumbala or in Farato? Normally, that should have been the councils taking over, unfortunately. So we are doing our best as much as we can, and that's why you see us moving from the national level to build an infrastructure in Farafenye. That was seen here with the youth center. Or we're moving to Mboyo Field. In January of this year, we supported 12 communities with financial support for them to be able to expand on the infrastructure. And we made it very clear they have to develop a project proposal, and we fund it. So it's either they're fencing a football field, or they're putting up a change room in a particular football field that is fenced, or they're putting up lights to be able to play night matches. And we've seen that. Today, if you go to Serekunda East, the lights that were just recently installed is support from the Ministry of Youth and Sports, with $1 million is for the lighting. Serekunda West, we gave them 500,000 to build a new pavilion. If you go to all the way in Yomilamen in North Bank, we gave them 500,000 to fence their football field. And the list goes on, all the way to Basse, and Badari and all of those areas. So that is what, support is. So yeah, he's giving me the list. Basse in Kunda, or quite a number of other communities that we are supporting, okay? And like I said, also the other part about the coaching. Today, our coaches that we hired go all the way to URR to watch games, to be able to pick up a talent from LRR or from Soma or from URR so that they become part of the national team if they're able to meet the requirements. So that is the participation that we are talking about. The AUSC games, about the digital skills. No, you're young people to be capacitized with digital skills and all that is particularly mentioned. So there is efforts going on through the Ministry of Communication and Digital Economy. I know they have a new project that is targeting that, to be able to help the young people with those kind of skills. Because again, like you mentioned, it's an interrelation of ministries having different roles to play. So yeah, we're doing our part, but the Ministry of Communication and Digital Economy is doing their part. But under us, we have a program which is called Youth Connect. And under the Youth Connect, one of the key components of the Youth Connect focuses on the skills that young people need to be able to participate in, like you said, the blue economy with the internet, what is available in the internet in terms of the skills they can get. And at our office at Carnifing, at the Youth Center, there is a youth lab, a youth incubator lab, where young people come to get trained on different skills. And also there is the online radio where they go in and interact and communicate with colleagues from other parts of the world and all of that. So Youth Connect is one area that has that. And I'll be proud to say the Youth Connect coordinator in the Gambia is actually Youth Connect itself is actually one of the best programs, again, that we have in the region. And that is why the Youth Connect coordinator in the Gambia, who is Basiru J, is just, I think he's supposed to leave this weekend to go to one of these countries in East Africa to help them set up Youth Connect in their own country. And he has done that for other countries in West Africa as well. So that is where the program is. And you saw one of the guys, I think he's Ibrahima. He's one young guy that is into innovation and tech sector, who the ministry supported with training. And he came and did a pitching and won a prize. And then he was taken to China to be able to get more exposure. So those are some of the opportunities that is there, but it is more about the Ministry of Digital Economy, and we're working with them to be able to expand on that skill, and yes, help young people to be able to monetize their accounts, which, like you said, Ministry of Information also have a role in that. The last thing about maybe two more. AUSC games, maybe I'll shorten my answers now because I know we're running out of time. The AUSC games, unfortunately, no, yes, we did that announcement. We even went ahead to set up a committee to work on the TOLAC, which is the West Africa Wrestling Championship, with a mandate to transition to organize the AUSC game. But unfortunately, it has been postponed for now until October, based on various reasons. One part is from the AU Secretariat itself not being ready because they were supposed to come to work with our local team for us to sign the hosting agreement. We didn't have those things take place based on other logistical and administrative issues on that side, but also locally also, like I said, the stadium is under renovation and we have to fix the track before you can host that game. So these are the reasons why it has been postponed for now, tentatively until October 5th. Okay, so 15th. Okay, so October 5th to 11 is what my PS is telling me. That's the new date, that we have to find out. But like I said, this is an international event that does not just take about Gambia to host. It has to take the AU for us to sign the hosting agreement, and that didn't happen until now. The officers are here currently, as we speak. They arrived in the country, I think, a few days ago, and they've been around for a while, and they're finalizing all the things and doing the necessary inspection. When Gambia was playing with Iran, you said the GFF said the ministry, I don't think GFF said the ministry did not provide funds. They only made an announcement that the Gambia-Iran game is being fully funded by the GFF. Communication-wise, we understand why that is, because the ministry didn't put in money, and maybe they wanted that to be clear, that the ministry didn't put in money. So made it that way, that they fully funded. They even put a breakdown of how much they were spending, which is interesting, because this is the first time that we are seeing those kind of things. When we put in money, we don't see our money announced by them. But it's interesting that when they put in their money and they announce it, it's a good thing, because it means it's a practice. So moving forward, when government put in, stakeholders would get to know exactly how much we put in and what it means. Now, what we said is clear. National teams are funded by government. But you see, I think we all need to just acknowledge the fact that there is a ministry, and there is a sport council, and there is a government. A federation also must acknowledge that they operate under the armpit of the government. You don't just go and make decisions on your own and you expect to come to us and to give you money. We don't operate that way because we also have other priorities. If you tell us we want to host a match next month against this country and you need budget, then we work towards it. We can tell you if it is possible or it's not possible. Weeks before the game or 3 weeks before the game that there's a football match and there's money. We don't have that money because the truth is support sports. But it is released based on doing so well in terms of supporting our national teams to go and participate in infrastructure. So government, the ministry have taken a deliberate attempt or step forward. I know it's difficult, and I've said this, that people will start complaining when we don't give money. Then we all appreciate what is going on. But with the other sports, all of them. And sometimes when they go and participate, the last time we spent 32 million for teams to go to Ghana. But they are not used to playing in indoor courts. So the sound disturbs them. They cannot. Government is deliberately investing more in the infrastructure. And that is why you're seeing facilities and participate in international activity, or you spend 10 million to build an infrastructure. Now, it's not magic. So these are the things, ladies and gentlemen, and for football, paying coaches for sacrifice. But yes, but that's the issue about, team. They take some of the responsibilities. And I'm sure it happened here in, was it February when we played with Senegal? And March, when Gambia was invited to play with Senegal, and Senegal took care of the accommodation and the tickets, and the government took care of the camping allowances and the match bonuses. We gave GFF $8 million. Unfortunately, that was not announced, but we gave $8 million for that match between Gambia and Senegal. And the part that people don't understand is to say, oh, why is Senegal paying for it? It's a very normal thing in sports. The appearance fee can be money paid to the team, or you can say we are going to host you and we'll pay this and this and that. That is normal football. But we need to be able to understand those things, okay? And that's exactly what happened between us and Iran. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Thank you very much, Honourable Minister.
Okay. Greetings,
there's
Honourable Minister. Okay. I want to remind you that despite the efforts that have been made, the illegal migration is still on the rise. And as of 2020, Mediterranean Sea to enter Europe. Life is to risk everything on the back way. Beyond telling the youth not to go, what tangible, high-value economic alternatives is the ministry creating to prove to us that we can thrive right here in the Gambia? I doubt if truly the achievements that were shown here reflect the realities of society. Thank you. My name is Musa Tamba.
All right, thank you very much, Honourable. I think it's my time now. I have two very important questions that I want to also think. Last week, you've renewed his contract to 2 years. I want to know exactly how did you reach to awarding him the 2-year contract? And in the instance that he fails to qualify the Gambia to the next AFCON, what happens? The second question is going to be about I'm a big fan of. I want to know exactly when can we have that sports bill for the development of Gambian sports? Thank you.
Now here, we have one question.
Discussions are centered around sports when we talk about young people. And we are talking about feeding ourselves as a nation. Where do we have the energy? Is it the old ones? Boys and girls. We talk about improving private sector in terms of investment. Today, I wanted to ask the question from the Songhai program of their employment and engagement and connecting them. But most of the time, you find that there are non-Gambians who are there. So how do you connect your students with the individual garden owner? anunko ngam fambalunde as a banko banku dingol ndol ko total ndol ta seno kala no ko tenke nsembo mu muneti funding kel mbeka wolefo nko funding kel lom banko semboti butu nintol man wuli man wakili pour ka do ko ke seno bundalla mbebe sports school fola mbemba fambalundu le nyaadile abe kolyala na buntu ko betarla bantale de so ton sen hakilotu mbe min fana fo kan wala minti ko ni aji be gadin tiol siata jam mo jamale gadinol soto bar ni tata je ibuka gambe dingol taraje do ko wala tinan lafta songay programme o nyinen kala e ka fondinkel mun karandi senola karola foy ka mun ferele ke pruy ke ni mol chokindi nyola min yalon ko ganilos ni e kombo jabi jibe bam bi gadin jamale bije bari fondinkel le ñina mun nañ ni karoti ala baraka.
Yeah, and thank you very much. Onyin karo kumata bakile. Mbe obula la ning pareta then be the GSI coordinator bijana te ba jabila. But just two questions. The illegal migration and whether the programs are adequate enough. No, I think I'll give you a direct answer. No, we understand that the programs that we are doing are not adequate enough. They have filled up a gap and they are very responsive to the issues of young people. But yes, we should be able to do more. Like someone said with the graduate program, can we get more young people? Every program you see, there is always room for improvement. But like I said, some of this thing comes with cost. And there is a lot of competing priorities here. But one thing I also want us to understand, don't look at the response of government to the issues of young people from only what is happening at the Ministry of Youth and Sports. There is a lot more happening in other sectors. Today, the investment that the government is doing in higher education is targeting young people. They are the ones that the University of the Gambia is built for. USET is built for them. All the Tibet centers that the government is investing in, from Tujarang to Kanilai to Wasu to Basse, are all for young people. And that is meant to ensure that young people go there, earn skills, and be able to work and take care of themselves and take care of their families. There is some investment in agriculture. It is also for young people because the labor force in agriculture is actually dominated by young people. So these are things that happen around that you might not see or relate to us, but it affects our sector. It affects young people of this country. But as a ministry, these programs are some of those that we are doing, and hopefully we should be able to expand, not even hopefully, we are supposed to be expanding on more, but that's why we are also not 100% dependent on government funding. We are reaching out to partners, to the UN system, to other embassies to be able to support, be able to scale up those programs. But I also believe that all of us as a country must also be able to face the reality and tell our young people that they also must be ready to face the realities. There's nothing easy or nothing comes easy. Each one of us here started somewhere. And it wasn't easy. It was very difficult. But we hold on, build our education, and so we went to university, build on ourselves, and become who we are. The same thing, if you are in the technical field, you must be ready to take your time, learn your skills, and graduate with good skills, and be able to work and build up. What we are facing is a population of young people that are in a hurry to be economically empowered. And it's not going to be that hasty. I know some of these conversations are difficult, but let's take it, for instance. In the back way, you see 12-year-old, 15, 16-year-old. What does that young person have to worry about economic hardship? If you are 15 or you are 12, you are supposed to be under the care of your parents. You are not supposed to worry about you taking care of your parents. So if you embark on the journey, what exactly is the person saying? These are things that we also look at. Look at our sectors today. Look at the informal sector, the construction sector. Right now, if you're looking for laborers, it's a problem. They even have to go and bring people from outside to come and work here. And they make some money. Where our Gambian labor? I'm not saying that. But if you did not go to school, or you did not have even grade 9, if you don't want to do that kind of job, what else are you supposed to do? So these are things that we also must be able to have the frank conversations and tell our young people that there is something. And I used to say that. I said I used to do craft and sell at the Senegambia craft market. to pay school fees. I even did taxi driving to be able to survive. But today I'm a minister. I was not expecting it at that time when I was doing it, but I know of us have seen it. But we decided to do our best until when the opportunity comes and we go. So let's tell our young people that let us develop ourselves in the education sector or in the skill set. And when you have a job, take it serious. And I'm sure we all know that today if you employ a Gambian, sometimes you struggle with him because he will come to work at 9 or he will come to 2 days and disappear for 1 day, and you'll have to beg him to come and work for you, even though you have already paid him. These are realities that we must be able to tell people also so that we can look at it from both sides, okay? Don't just put it on government alone. We know that we need to do more, but our young people also need to be able to face the realities and do the right thing. Last one is about the coach's contract, and that's, by the way, that's the president of the Gambia's. His contract was renewed based on recommendations. The announcement was done, and I think it clearly stated that it was in consultation with the Gambia Football Federation. They are the ones that the coach report to. Our responsibility is to hire and pay. He has done well, and he deserves to be given an extension of a contract, and we agreed with them because we have also seen, what he has been doing so far, and we believe that reasonably, the numbers in terms of statistics might not be good comparatively, but it's a new team that he's building, and we think we can be able to give him additional time to be able to build a better team and that's a contractual issue, and yes, we've definitely factored the issue of qualification for AFCON. As one of the requirements that he should be able to fulfill as part of his checklist, if I must put it that way. He has a checklist, and one of the conditions is qualification for AFCON. The sport bill, last one. Now, the sport bill is unfortunately delayed more than we expected, but we are now at the final stage. Cabinet has given its approval to it with amendments, and as required, amendments from Cabinet is supposed to go back to the AG chambers for input, to input the Cabinet comment, then it goes to National Assembly. So our target was really to have submitted it in this current sitting, upcoming sitting of the National Assembly, but that didn't happen. But we are hopeful or believe that in the final next sitting of National Assembly before the end of the year, it will definitely go to National Assembly and approved and then assented to by the President. So before end of this year, inshallah, we will have both the youth bill and the sport bill passed, because I don't see any reason why National Assembly would reject it. So we are hopeful that it will pass. The last one, I will leave Mr. Baisen, the coordinator of GSI, to answer that. Thank you.
All right, good evening. Auntie, I'll just answer the first part, all right? It's rather unfortunate that we are not producing enough. I mean, we have a capacity of 80 beds, 40 male and 40 female. I'll just give you an example. We are not training employees, we're training entrepreneurs. I mean, we graduated 47 rather, January, and 27 didn't want to work for anybody. So you just have about 20 young people that are willing to take up a job. And that job they're going to take up is just a temporal basis. Over time, they will go back and get started. And it's an area that we can improve on as a country. As you said, everybody here is talking about sport, and I think it was manifested in our nationwide tour earlier this year. All the corners of this country, they only worry about sport, when definitely, I mean, we need to do more about putting food on the table. This afternoon, today, my own cousin texted me looking for an employee. It's rather unfortunate, but I mean, I think together with some of the partners, thank you, UNDP, and I hope we can expand. We have the idea of having mini Songhais around the country, but unfortunately, we are stalled. We're still in North Banks, but still with limited access, as I said, 80 beds. Currently, we have additional 32 beds that are under construction. So come 2027, we'll have additional 32 beds on top of the 80. And we also have a sister organization in the corner in Farafenni, also Balingo, But I think as a country, we still could do better in terms of producing what we eat. Yeah, it's a big challenge. Every day or every week, I get a call all over looking for employees, and we cannot. I hope I answer as much as I can.
Yes, thank you. So we will take a final round of questions, but only one question each. 3 questions, 1 question each. Honourable Minister will answer, and we go for the closing. Honourable Minister. Thank you.
My name is Janke Sise, The Point newspaper. My question is, I understand. My question is on the budget spent on the renovation of the Independence Stadium. I understand that the initial under-budgeted amount is 100% government. It's 100% government. So the other part, is it also 100% government, and how much it's spent?
Good evening, everyone. I have a question to the Ministry of Youth and Sports. I'm Isatu Conte on behalf of Jara News TV. So my question and suggestion to the ministry, what is the Ministry of Youth and Sport doing to help and support more youth participation? My suggestion to this, I think the government should also introduce skills from nursery school, which can increase more youth participation in the country, whereas when they introduce skills in nursery school, people will be able to learn and understand life after school, what their careers will carry. Thank you.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah.
Alaikum salam.
My name is Mohammed Jabi, a student at Inside Training Center. My question is, I would like to speak on our native language. There is no specific budget for the national team. So if there is no specific budget, do you expect us to compete with other countries? A budget so the national team. Akasoto warol ko nang kamoy na buesol kasi strike ko la match bonus oli mukasoto. And I believe wakamodol for discourage them kana play Gambia. So do you expect us to compete with other countries? A budget, specific budget so the national team. Yeah? Can we compete with those people?
Thank you. I'm sorry, I would have to probably get the one from Isidro. I missed that. But the one from Ms. Janke about the stadium funding, yes, I mean, it's still the same. The stadium renovation is 100% funded by the government of the Gambia. No other funding apart from government funding. And as it is, we are at $375 million. That is what it has been spent or will be spent so far. So that's the budget. It doesn't mean that that's what has gone there already. But by the time the work ends, that is what is anticipated, because payments are done in phases upon completion of milestones, and you pay. But it will be at a total of $375 million. Mohammed, I said I'll get back to you. The specific, why, if you don't have a specific budget for the national team, yes, no, I said that. But it doesn't mean that we don't have a budget for sports. What I said is we have one basket fund for sports, and we release it based on needs, based on requests, and based on the activities that we have. Because you cannot do that because you have so many associations, not just football. You have all the other associations that you know about, and each one of them will have a team. And if you said you have for the national team alone, what about if basketball comes up? What about if volleyball comes up? But you cannot have a budget for each of those. So we have one basket fund that government is providing, and when requests come, we plan it based on that. And that's where also we are paying for some of the infrastructure work that we're doing. But the reality is there has been a lot of investment in the national team lately from government side. And I always say this, yes, you can have good players, you can have a good coach, but if the money is not there, the team cannot do much. So government funding is a great contributor towards Gambia qualifying for AFCON for the first time and for the second time. Government funding is why our athletics are doing what they're doing today with Genebas and others. And government funding does a lot in terms of all the other associations. So there is money for sports. We just need more. And all of us, myself including, do advocate for more funding. And the people are here, you know, the Minister of the Civil Service, the Chief of Staff is here, the Secretary General is here. They're hearing you. So hopefully they will be able to add their voices for us to get more money, all right? I said, sorry, I'm sorry, I'll have to get your question. What was Elaine Nkara woman in the phone? Okay. All right, that's fine. Yeah, so you look at it this way. There is a new shift altogether in terms of skills development for young people. It is not in the high schools necessarily, because that's secondary. But if you look at the Ministry of Higher Education, Research and Technology, in terms of investments in the USET, for instance, the transformation of GTTI into University of Science and Technology is to be able to respond to the current realities of our time, and not just to stick to the old way of learning skills, but to learn skills that are modern, that are in line with the university. That's why GTTI is transformed to USET. But also, there is work going on for the construction of a fishing center in Tujareng, and we're doing the same thing in Wasu for the rice agricultural, you know, and all of those stuff. The reason is because we understand that not everybody want to be a mechanic or a carpenter, but we have other resources where we need to train our young people to have skills to be able to make use of those areas. And that is the reason why all of these skill centers are coming. If you go to Kanilai today, we have a new center for technology and science. And all of that is to be able to respond to the issues of the young people. So there are efforts being done to be able to respond to the issues of young people by the Ministry of Higher Education. Under our ministry, we have two. Mr. Sen just explained the training that we do at GSI, which is specifically 12 months training for young people. Minimum 50 young people annually is what we take. And their accommodation, feeding, and the training equipments are provided for by government. They don't pay. In addition, they're giving a monthly stipend, even though they are based there for the 12 months. And you can imagine what it means to accommodate and feed 50 people or 70 people for 12 months. But in the PIA, which is at the Bakary Center, there are different skills that have been taught there. And you saw the young guy here who is a carpenter. You saw the welderman. You saw the one doing the seats, the sofas for the houses. All of that is skills training. So there are efforts, but yeah, always we need to do more. But also we want young people to take advantage of this and learn skills and not be in a hurry. Just learn, take time, learn skills, master them properly. And then when you do work, people will be satisfied. They'll come back to you and you do it. But you do it haphazardly, nobody comes back. That's the problem.
1 minute
All right, so I think I've talked too much. So I want to leave my peers to do the final remark on behalf of the minister.
Thank you, Honourable Minister. What a great job. I'm so proud to work with you. And I want to thank all of you for your attention and for being here. The message to all of us is, as responsible citizens of this country, I want all of us to consider ourselves as a stakeholder when we talk about empowering our youth and also helping our youth to develop, to grow and develop. There are so many social issues that are occurring in our societies, in our communities now. That's why everybody in this country should see yourself as a major stakeholder in empowering our young people and give them the necessary tools that they would need to compete, not only in the Gambia, but to compete globally. We are not preparing our young people just for Gambia. We are preparing our young people to compete with the international community. And to do that, it's not just sending you to a skills training center. When you go there, you have to make sure that you get the best out of the programs. And that is what is lacking here. Honourable Minister, I'm glad you mentioned that the problem with our young people is rush, the patience. People don't want to exercise patience. The Ministry of Youth and Sports, we still have confidence in our young people. We trust you. You know you are very ambitious and you are hardworking. We have good kids in this country. Our young boys and girls are fine people. We want to be there for you. We will give you all the necessary support. That is why we went all over the country to have a town hall meeting, to engage, to dialogue with our young people, to listen to you, to know what are your challenges and your concerns. And we had you well and clear. And we are doing all of what we can in partner with the government to come to your doorsteps, to make sure that this country still remains the best country, the most livable country in Africa. And Gambia, we can still do that. Honourable Minister, I thank you for giving us this opportunity. Although there are certain key achievements in our intervention side that we are missing in the documentary, that I would want to say here. We have so many success stories, and the ministry is also coming up with a documentary. We have a young guy who was a qualified teacher who decided he doesn't want to do teaching, he wants to go and do farming. He's in Berending. Last year alone, he sold over 200 rams, a young man, and he has employed over 15 people. We have another success story in Kunda. We have a military guy who spent 16 years in the military. He decided to come back, and he's been supported. He has employed more than 15, 20 people. We have a young guy who has a welding workshop in Kerawan, who is proud to say that he has employed 10 young Gambians.
Thank you.
So if all these people are contributing, we can say Gambia, we are on the right track. And we should thank our leaders who are here today, and also His Excellency President for giving us the opportunity to serve you. I am so proud that, SG, I want to thank you for giving me the opportunity to work with the young people. I would not have been happy to end my career in civil service if I don't get the opportunity to work with the young people. And I thank you for that.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you. All the achievements we appreciate. Youth issues are cross-cutting. And our investments on young people are not only within the domain of the Ministry of Youth and Sports. In higher education, the scholarships we provide and the universities we've built. In agriculture, the Giraffe Project and the Roots Project, helping young people into livestock and agriculture. In tourism, the creative industries, the multi-million-dollar investments done there with support from the World Bank and the EU and also the UNDP to support young people. So they are cross-cutting. So that brings us to the end. I'd like to thank, in particular, the ministers present today, Minister of Public Service, Digital Economy, Head of the Civil Service present here today, Chief of Staff, Deputy Chief of Staff, Director of Press, members of the Diplomatic Corps, the French Ambassador, the Turkish Ambassador, representative from Guinea-Bissau, rep from Senegal, the UNDP country representative, the UN country rep, my friend, representative from the Embassy of China. Senior civil servants, our partners, Asada Motors, Q Group, Comium, but also Bell Water Bottling, and everyone who attended this premiere of the Mansa Kunda and the launch of the Euroa documentary series. Our partners, the media, you are the conduit between the public and the government. We thank you for your support and your partnership, which is very critical to the consolidation of our democracy. And I thank all those Gambians at home watching us, both in the Gambia, also in the diaspora, the entire team of the Ministry of Information and Broadcasting Services, under the leadership of DPS, Kodu, Department of Information Services, Isa Davis, thank you, GRTS, and our partners, Star TV, QTV, GTTV, VOD, all those media houses that are supporting us, simulcasting this broadcast, making sure that every Gambian is watching this. I thank you all for your support. Honourable Minister of Youth and Sports, keep up the good job you and your team. We are proud of you. Thank you.
Bell Bottling Company, sharing happiness, made in the Gambia.
In today's world, speed matters, but slow internet can hold you back. Now, the future of connectivity has arrived in the Gambia. QCell's Q-Fiber, ultra fast, ultra study, work, and play online like never before. From homes to businesses, QCell Fiber is connecting the Gambia to the future. QCell's Q, we innovate, others follow.